It was an ordinary morning in May 1671, when Talbot Edwards, the keeper of the crown jewels, prepared for another uneventful day at the Tower of London. Little did he know that by the end of the day he would find himself part of one of the boldest and strangest attempted heists in British history. The Tower of London housed England's priceless crown jewels. Guarding them was no small task. But Colonel Thomas Blood, an Irish adventurer and master of deception, saw it as a challenge he was willing to risk everything to beat. Blood's plan was as daring as it was bizarre. Disguising himself as a humble priest, he introduced himself to Edwards weeks before the heist under the pretense of being a well-meaning clergyman visiting the tower with his wife. Blood and his supposed spouse went so far as to feign kindness to Edward's family. When the wife pretended to fall ill during a visit, Blood used this as an opportunity to gain Edward's trust by showing what seemed like genuine concern. The visits continued, with Blood even floating a proposal for his nephew to marry Edward's daughter. By the time the heist day arrived, Edwards had been completely duped into letting his guard down. On the fateful morning, Blood arrived with 3 accomplices. Claiming he wished to see the jewels one last time as a treat for his friends, Edwards obliged, leading them into the basement where the air was thick with anticipation as Edwards led the way. Blood's heart pounded with each step, knowing that success hung by the thinnest thread of deception. In the dim light of the basement, the crown jewels seemed to glow with a light of their own, a treasure almost within Blood's grasp. Yet, even as the jewels beckoned, a single misstep could unravel everything. Edwards, though unaware of the full extent of the plot, sensed something amiss in the air. Blood's confidence was unwavering, but he knew the next moments would decide everything. The air was electric, the tension palpable, as the fate of Blood's audacious plan hung in the balance. Edwards, now acutely aware of the danger, felt the weight of his responsibility pressing down on him. Across the room, Blood steeled himself, knowing that any misstep could lead to disaster. Edwards, his voice firm, demanded an explanation, but Blood, with a defiant glint in his eye, refused to back down. The tension between them crackled like a live wire. In a heartbeat, the room erupted into chaos, the fragile facade of peace shattered as intentions turned to action. Blood's heart raced as the confrontation intensified, every second critical in determining the outcome of his daring endeavor. Edwards, unyielding in his duty, felt the heavy weight of responsibility bearing down upon him. A silence fell over the room, the air thick with anticipation, as both sides braced for what was to come. In a burst of movement, the air filled with the sound of clashing wills and the struggle for control. The atmosphere crackled with tension, as if the very air held its breath in anticipation of the clash to come. Blood's eyes burned with a fierce resolve, knowing that every second mattered in this delicate dance of deceit and danger. Luckily, Edwards regained consciousness and shouted for help. Blood and his gang were caught red-handed as they attempted to flee the tower. Astonishingly, the king pardoned Blood, granted him land in Ireland, and even gave him an annual pension. Why did the king spare him? Some theories suggest that Blood had secret political connections, or that he knew damaging secrets about the royal family. The strange royal pardon. Instead of being executed, Blood was taken directly to King Charles II, who was reportedly amused by his boldness.